Hello my lovely friends, my name is Ava and here are some new releases coming out in September as well as my TBR for the month. I love what Christy from Christy Reads a Lot does. She kind of like combines her TBR and her new releases in the same video. So Christy, I love you, I'm stealing your idea. I hope that's okay. Let's do all the books that are coming out next month that are on my radar. And then we'll get into other books that I also have on my TBR because I'm hoping to read at least some of these new releases, but I obviously can't read all of them. There are a lot. So yeah, let's go with September new releases. I personally love September. September is my birthday month. My birthday's on the 4th, so very early on in the month. So I personally love September. It's also the beginning of fall, so a few fall vibe books on here, which I thoroughly love because Texas is brutal. Very brutal with the heat and the sun and the humidity. It's just gross. So please pray for us here down in Texas. On September 1st, A Storm in Every Heart by Kate King comes out. It is the second book in a series and I haven't read book number 1, but I saw her marketing for this book on Instagram with like a graphic of some character art and I was like, I'm sold. I love anything mermaid related, a mermaid romance, please sign me up. And this is apparently like The Little Mermaid meets The Princess Bride, which probably top 5 films of all time for me. So this is an enemies to lovers romance. Odessa, our heroine, ends up rescuing our crowned prince from drowning one day, and that's our hero, but they're also like enemies. I don't know, kind of does give Little Mermaid vibes. I'm interested to see how The Princess Bride gets weaved into this. If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia comes out on the 2nd. Her trad publication of this, it came out I believe last year as like an indie book. She released it herself on Kindle Unlimited, but the traditional publishing of this book comes out on the 2nd, and this is a small town, very fall vibe type romance, and there's also like Gilmore Girls vibes, which I need in my life. Oh, it's set in 1997. I was born the year after that, so I was not alive during that time. It's cozy, slow burn, and it is also a small town. Like, sign me up, please. Also on September 2nd, I have By the Horns by Ruby Dixon. I am thrilled for another Ruby book. Her second traditionally published, well, I Split Up Barbarians like got picked up, you know what I mean? But like, the first book in this series was originally trad. So this is her second originally trad book. So I'm so excited for her. I will hype up Ruby forever. This is the second book in her Royal Artifactual Guild series, romantic series with minotaurs. I don't even want to read the summary. I don't want to know. I go into her books blind. Another one that I'm really looking forward to is People Watching by Hannah Bottom Young, which comes out on September 9th. She was so very gracious and sent me an art copy of this book, and I need to freaking get to it. She sent it to me months ago, and I've just been putting it off. I don't know who else does this, where you put off books you think you're gonna love. That's what it's like. That's what it's like. This cover is absolutely stunning. She announced it like secretly on her tour that I went to and just showed the picture to everybody on tour. Like stunning. I'm still stunned by it. This is a small town romance with, I believe, a artist and a poet. One of them is a poet, which I'm really looking forward to. I love the poetry type romances. I'm obsessed with them. And this small town setting was actually inspired by the small town where her and her husband fell in love, which I'm getting goosebumps right now. I can't wait to read it. A fun one that I found off of Instagram is Deep in Love by Nicole Cuba. This one comes out on September 16th. This is a Rivals to Lovers STEM spicy romance. And they're apparently like deep sea researchers. They research and study deep sea animal life, and they're stuck together for 3 weeks on sea. So it's like forced proximity. Sounds fun. September 21st brings us Cherished by the Gargoyle by Jessica Grayson and Aria Winter. I saw Gargoyle and put it on my list. That's literally everything about this, other than it does say that it is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, which I have barely read Sleeping Beauty retellings. I need more in my life. So if you have more recommendations, leave them down below, please. On September 23rd, I have When It's Us by Madison Noel. This is the 3rd book in a series, and I haven't read the other ones, but I think the graphic for this one and the trope reveal that I saw on Instagram really sparked my interest. We have a single mom with anxiety representation, I'm pretty sure. We have a hero who like knows that the heroine is struggling being a single mom and like being alone and wants to help, but is she gonna accept the help. On September 23rd, Alchemized comes out by Senlin Yu. This is the reworking and traditionally published version of Manacled. I have yet to read Manacled. I did download it before it was removed off of AO3, so I have that in my possession. Should I read Manacled or Alchemized? I'm reading it regardless because it's Alchemized is our book club book for our Romantasy book club at the bookstore. I think that's our October book pick. So I'm gonna be reading Alchemized. So should I read Manacled first? Please let me know. I don't know. Manacled was a Hermione fanfiction that's very dark that a lot of my BookTube besties love. So yeah, that's all I really know. She's reworked it and made like no Harry Potter lore in there at all. Thank God. We do not support J.K. Rowling here. Yeah, I have been hesitant to read Manacled just because it's like a mixture with also The Handmaid's Tale, and The Handmaid's Tale scares me really bad. It scares me really bad because you know what? That could happen in real life. And it scares the bejesus out of me. Even when it was required reading when I was in high school, I was terrified. Absolutely terrified, but you had to read it. September 26th, we have The Fang Arrangement by Sarah Blue. I love Sarah Blue. She writes fun, paranormal, like Omega-verse romances. It looks like this one is a vampire one, and I don't know anything else, so sign me up. Soul Searching by Lila Sage comes out on September 30th. This is her like small town paranormal romance. There's like witches and ghosts, I think, and that's all I know. And I am obsessed with this cover, by the way. Absolutely stunning. But I love like a supernatural touch to a romance. So lastly, I have Burning Daylight by Emily McIntyre, which also comes out on September 30th. I really enjoy Emily McIntyre, and it looks like this is like the first book in a while that is not one of her fairy tale retellings series, like those dark fairy tale retelling romances. This is a like Romeo and Juliet inspired romance, which is so fun. I hope there's actually like a good ending though, like a happily ever after. Oh, that's cute. Her name is Juliet and his name is Roman. Oh my gosh. And there are a few trigger warnings in here, they said, so be aware of that. But I love a good Romeo and Juliet retelling. I do. There is something that literally was just announced for September 23rd. We have a bunch of authors coming out with romances. I think they're novellas. I figured it out because of Ruby Dixon. She's coming out with Space Vampire. Allie Hazelwood is coming out with Hot for Slayer. Kimberly Lemming, My Boyfriend, Something Monster. I can't read that small. I'm like blind bad. Oh, My Boyfriends Are All Monsters. That's the title for that one. JT Geisinger, Spicy Little Curses. Katie Robert comes out with Beautiful Nightmare, and Christina Lauren comes out with Falling. I'm obviously gonna be putting Ruby's and Kimberly's on my TBR for sure. But I thought it's so cool how all 6 of these authors came together to write, I believe, like a fun little novella. So I am thrilled. All that just got released today, so there's probably books that I am missing, and I apologize. But that one just got dropped today. See, people like drop books literally a month before they release, sometimes in the indie world, so it's hard to like come up with lists. Okay, so my personal TBR, let's get to that. We have our Beam Me Up book club, which is a book club that Tiffany and I over at Tiff Talks pages, we run an monster alien romance book club. We normally pick the book on the live show beforehand, and it will also be announced on our Instagrams. For a book with disability representation, I picked Happily Never After by Paisley Nash. I heard that this one has celiac disease representation, which if you didn't know, I have celiac, so I am really excited to pick this one up. I am kind of nitpicky with my celiac disease representation just because I've lived with it for 2 decades. So I'm very knowledgeable about my condition, so I really hope this works out. This is also a single dad, and it's small town. Like, sign me up. This cover is stunning. So we'll see who has celiac, what's going on in here. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. For my physical TBR, I actually picked Darkly Depraved Monsters by Violet Taylor. There are, I believe, 5 or 6 novellas in this bind up. I got this at a book signing where I met her. There are 6. And so I don't know if I'm gonna get to all of them, but I for sure want to put A Web of Lust and Sorrow on my TBR, and that's a monster romance where the heroine is the monster and she's like a spider monster. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so fun. So yeah, there's a few short stories in here. I might maybe like try to read all of them. You never know. There's what's in here? We have Feast of the Vampire King is the first one, so vampire. Scream for the Scarecrow, a scarecrow creature. I've seen fan art of that one, or she commissioned. Whoa, it was crazy. Frostbitten is the 3rd book. Demons and Demania is number 4. There's the Spider one is number 5. And number 6 is Hours for Halloween, which I believe is a romance. It's either Why Choose or it's 4 guys and 1 girl and they're like all together. And all 3 of the guys are monster creatures. So yeah, Violet Taylor is really fun. I read her Nightmare Before Christmas retelling. It was really dark and it was fun. A fun monster dark book. So hopefully I love some of these novellas as well. For my historical romance pick for the month, I'm actually wanting to just put a whole series on this list. I am in the middle of the Maiden Lane series, so I would like to read the rest of the Maiden Lane books. I believe I'm on number 6 right now. It's the green cover one. I don't want to say what it's about because it's going to be spoilery. I have already read the following 2 books. I actually read those first before even reading the series because I know that those 2 books had disability representation and I wanted to prioritize that. But now since I'm reading the books in order, we're going to be rereading the ones I've already read and then continuing on. There might be like 12 books in the series, but I, for the past month, have gotten through like maybe one of the audiobooks a day. So who knows? Maiden Lane series is a really fun historical romance series with, so far, there's been this character in the midst interconnecting all the books called the Ghost of St. Giles, which is kind of like a historical version of, or Regency time period version of Batman. Saving the kids from like the slums in St. Giles. I run a romantasy book club at the bookstore that I work at. So the book that we picked for that one is The Deathless One by Emma Hamm. I love Emma Hamm so much and I'm so incredibly proud and happy for her that she got traditionally published with this book. It's a romantasy. There's like a shadow daddy aspect to it. That's all I really know. I want to go into this book as blind as possible. I love Emma so much and I'm so incredibly happy for her. And the girls at book club were actually really looking forward to this one. So we're all excited. A book from an author backlist, I picked Our Thing by Nikki Harris. I actually read Nikki Harris for the first time last month with her post-apocalyptic romance series. I read the first one. I think it's called Born for Lace. You'll see my thoughts about that one in my August wrap-up coming up shortly. But I found Our Thing on my Libby, and I believe it's a dark romance with a ballerina. And I love those vibes, so I immediately put it on my TBR and the audiobook comes in on Libby. For my prompt for series to continue, I'm going to be getting to Echoes of the Tide by Emma Hamm, so another Emma Hamm book. This is book number 3 in her Whispers of the Deep merman romantasy series that I'm absolutely obsessed with. Like book number 1, when I read that book, when it came, the year it came out, was my favorite book of the year. And I read it in January of that year and it stuck to be my favorite throughout the whole entire year. So just saying. Number 3, I don't remember who this one is about, but another merman creature. I love all these covers. I'm obsessed with them. The audiobook was released, so I need to finally put this one up. For an unknown book/author, I picked Once Upon a Demon's Heart by K.M. Moranova. I actually saw this on my Kindle Unlimited like explore page and I immediately got it because the cover is stunning. This is the first book in a duet. Our heroine is a devoted demigod knight and finds herself trapped in the throes of a brutal curse, which is a time loop in which the demon kingdom's Blood Knight kills her every time. And so she wants to end the war between demigods and demons, and hopefully that will break her curse through that. And apparently the way to break the curse is to marry the knight that has slain her so many times. What? I was not expecting that. Oh my gosh. Okay, sounds so fun. I'm really looking forward to that one. A book that is hyped, I picked Not Safe for Work by Nisha J. Tooley. I've heard great things about this one. I think Tori from Novel Life really enjoyed it. I think there's like disability representation or chronic illness representation. I can't remember. This book sold out so fast at our bookstore, so I gotta think it's hyped. My last book is a monster/alien pick, so I picked Girls Weekend by Sam Niscosta. I've already read this book, but when I read it, there was only book number 1 out, and I think there's 3 or 4 books out right now. And so I kind of want to reread it and then continue on with the series because my Libby has all the audiobooks. So Girls Weekend, I remember it's 3 girlfriends go to a like spa retreat resort where there are a bunch of hot, sexy orc men. Each one has their own little romance. So I'm actually looking forward to rereading that one. It's been a few years since I've read it. I made in my rereading era this year. I'm loving rereading books. Anyways, there you have it. Those are all the new releases and books that I am looking forward to reading in the month of September. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books or if you plan to, if I missed any new releases as well. If you don't feel like commenting anything else, you can leave me a cake emoji because it's my birthday coming up. But anyways, thank y'all so much for watching, and we'll see y'all soon in my next one. Bye y'all.
Oh, and I keep finding dog ears that you left in my books. Miss your hate, can I just crash over? Guess you crashed in like a tsunami. Woke up next to you so hungover, sunlight painted stripes of your